Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic week. Sorry about the videos. I know it's been light. Just had a lot going on, been going through some stuff. So back, and I'll try to get on more of a regular video schedule like I should be doing. So, but I did have one I wanted to go through. Just going through Twitter and stuff like that, social media in general. Each day, I kind of see this garbage pull up, with all the hunting and everything. Just to give you a little background, like I've already told you, right? I grew up here, so I used to have a buddy live right behind me, Jeremy, and I grew up with him. As a kid, we knew each other for many, many years. Went to school together, and he's an avid hunter. He's big into it. I'm sure you know people just like that, right? It's a cultural thing. Loves to go hunting. Loves the camouflage clothing, and loves to murder animals and stick them on the wall and stuff so he can look at them for whatever reason. It's just probably how he grew up, right? That's what his dad did, and his dad's dad, and all down the line. So that's kind of my background. And I used to go, it's like every Christmas we would go up to Virginia. And once we were up there, I was a young kid. I grew up around people that hunted. I grew up in the South. So it's a cultural thing, right? Of course, I'm going to hunt too. I wasn't a big hunter. I was never huge into it. I never, thoroughly enjoyed it. I did do it. So just to be clear before I get into my little rant on the animals, just being honest, right? I grew up, I killed animals. Went up to Virginia, like I said, every Christmas we go up there, shoot fireworks off. It's not great for the environment. The animals don't like it, all that good stuff. But go up there, shoot off fireworks. I had guns, little 22 shotgun, whatever. Go out in the woods, stupid kid, so shot pretty much whatever I could find. I didn't do a ton of hunting, but I did kill birds, killed rabbits. Never did a deer or anything big like that, but definitely shot animals. One of the worst things I ever did. Still remember to this day. I can't get rid of it. It's stuck in my head. There was this cat, and it was one of those like barn cats, For whatever reason, I don't know why. I just was into shooting animals, right? That's what I was doing. So I ended up shooting this cat. To this day, I can't get it out of my head. Still think about it. It was just sitting there, just walking along, doing its thing. Wasn't bothering me at all. Wasn't causing me any problems. Sure, it was a nice cat. I shot it because I was young. It was like a gun culture kind of thing, and I was already shooting birds. I was shooting rabbits. So, what's the difference, right? It's just a stupid animal. So I shot that cat. Ended up, I think I probably threw its body on like a fire or whatever to get rid of it. Absolutely horrible. To this day, that cat is stuck in my head. I can't get rid of it. I still think about it. Horrible. That's how sin works, man. I mean, you're allowed to commit the sin, but nobody's gonna pull it out of you. You kind of that's between you and God. You apologize, like I've done many times, but at the end of the day, it happened. So it's still up there. So I got to live with that. But that's just a little bit that's my background. Just to be honest about where I'm coming from. I grew up here, lived normal life, just like everybody else. Killed, I don't know how many birds, but quite a few. Then I had a shotgun. I was running around like a kid. I was excited. I had a gun, shooting things. So yeah, birds, a cat. Never forget that. And the birds, and I think a rabbit, maybe killed a rabbit. That's probably about it. There wasn't, I wasn't big into hunting, but I did do it. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say I didn't do it. I did. Thankfully, I learned. But so that's just a little of my background before I get into this video, which this is going to be rough for me to get through. I'm sure all the hunters have already closed the video by now. That's fine. You don't want to watch this one because I've explained like how animals and humans, right? We're just vessels. There's a soul that goes inside of it, but just a vessel, right? I could look like this, or I could look, Jewish. I could, African American, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's just a vessel, just like that cat behind me. So we'll go look at this video here. I don't know. You'll probably check out long before this is done. That's fine. But I don't know who this is. I don't know this guy. I just found it on YouTube. I was kind of searching around for these videos. Because like I said, when I'm on social media, I'll see like these people, they're like really proud. They'll be sitting next to this animal They'll even have it like propped up like a big lion or something. Like my buddy Jeremy I talked about, right? On his Facebook, I don't want to get too detailed here, but he's got a large animal, right? So there's this big, large, dead animal, and he's kind of sitting there like super happy about it. Like, this is great. Look at this animal I murdered. So yeah, I see crap like that on social media, and it's infuriating. I can't stand it, but I understand that you don't know any better. I get that, right? Just like I didn't know any better. So, someone needs to tell you. But that's what got me down this rabbit hole of trying to find this video. And then I find this fella here, which, I don't know, he's got like 1 million subscribers, way more than me. So he must be doing something right. Maybe I should start murdering animals. Maybe I get paid like that. I don't know. I would never do it. I'd rather be poor. But I found this fella. Don't know him. Nothing personal. I have my opinions, but I'll be nice. So let's go here. Let's start it up. Hopefully you can hear the audio.
That's exactly what we're doing. We're giving it to them on a silver platter. Howdy, everybody. Keith Warren here with my daughter, Maddie, and we're about to get...
Oh, interesting. She's a Christian. That's nice. She believes in compassion. Equality for all, compassion. Unfortunately, one of the traps that Christians fall into, and I understand, because I have read the Bible now a couple times. So I do understand the animal sacrifice portion and some of the verbiage in there that is not correct. It's wrong. So I totally understand why you've kind of been misled on a few things, sacrifices and things of that nature. But yeah, she's a Christian, right? She believes in compassion. And if you can see in the background, they've got these murdered animals stuffed and stuck on the wall. I really don't understand that. Like, even though I have shot animals and I've admitted to it, I did the same thing. These people really enjoy it. Like, they didn't just do it. They do it, and then they stuff the animal heads and they stick them on the wall so they can hang out and watch TV with these dead animals. I'm not a psychologist. My girlfriend, I think she's dabbled in that, part of her schooling. I don't know what you would call that, but that's like Hannibal Lecter type strange. You're going to murder this thing and stuff its body and then stick it on your wall and hang out with it. You're going to be watching television with some animal that you slaughtered for no reason. I don't care if you ate the meat. You didn't need to eat the meat. You could have just left it alone, which is what you should have done, but you killed it. Then you stuffed it and you stick it on the wall and you hang out with it while you're watching television and eating with your kids and whatever else. That is really strange. It's quite odd. If a burglar broke into your house, would you kill him? Self-defense, I understand, is a different situation, but you don't then stuff the burglar and put it on the couch or whatever and hang out with it. That's really, really odd. But then you can see he's got this monkey or something. I don't know what that is. He's got a hat on it, making fun of it, I guess. I have no idea what's going on. This is really odd. But let's try to get through this video if we can.
Give you something in appreciation for...
One more thing. I've noticed that a lot of the hunters are Christians, or at least appear to be, right? They're all about compassion for humans. And not actually all humans, just some humans. Not all others, right? The way it should be. But we'll keep it moving here.
We're reaching 400,000 subscribers.
400,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a ride. 400,000 subscribers. So in order to thank y'all, we want to give you a quick glimpse at a bunch of shots of our favorite journeys along the road. Literally, a bunch of shots.
So the videos
Here we
you
go.
see coming up are an example of all the hundreds of videos we have on our channel. So if you haven't subscribed...
Hundreds of videos. I would assume that's hundreds of videos of animals getting destroyed and murdered, if I had to guess. I haven't gone through his channel. I won't be subscribing. Sorry, buddy. Trump supporters. Yeah, it's also a common theme. Interesting. Let's see.
Please do so.
Wow. Wow. Did you see that thing just sitting there hanging out, enjoying its day, not bothering anybody? Just got shot. Now he's flipped up in the air. Look at that. Oh! Giraffe just got its brains blown out. You see it was there? Just sitting around, not hurting anybody. just being the creature that God made it to be, hanging out. Just got its brains blown out by some jerk. For what? Does it make you feel more powerful that you can kill that animal? Wow. There we go. Whoop. Look at that trash can. I guess that's an arrow or some sort. See all the blood there? See all that blood pouring out on the ground? This poor animal just trying to figure out, like, what the heck did I do wrong? Oh, that's right. Nothing. I didn't do anything wrong. Whoop. What's going on? My body hurts. I'm bleeding. Oh. Look at this. These animals have no idea what's going on. All they know is they're getting attacked out of nowhere by something that is foreign to them. Wow. Look at this. Oh my gosh. This one's terrible. Look at this. I don't know what kind of animal this is. Look at him. What's he doing? Sitting there enjoying breakfast, it looks like. Breakfast or lunch. Some kind of fruit. Look at this guy. He's doing the right thing here. He's eating fruit, not bothering anybody. And here comes a human. Let's see what happens. That's what happens. He gets killed. What's he going to do? Eat that thing? What do you got there? Like a quarter pound of meat? It's disgusting. Wow. Look at this. Unreal. Oh my gosh. Look at this thing flipping around in the air. You know it's really sick? I've heard there's like a tradition when you get your first kill or whatever they call it. Parents. Great job. So parents take these animals and they like string them up in the air so they can like just slice them open and start like pulling their innards out and stuff like that. And then they take their kids and they get like blood and they like smear it on their kids. Yo, that sounds like some kind of satanic ritual. It's like, I don't know what you're doing, but that sounds like some kind of sick satanic ritual, to be quite honest. You take an innocent being, an animal, a soul in a different vessel, different than you, still has a soul, just in a different vessel, different body. That's it. So you murder it when you shouldn't have because it was innocent. Then you cut it open in front of your children. That's great. And then you take the blood and you smear it on your child. That has got to be the sickest thing, one of the sickest things I've ever heard of. Like, I know like the Romans, I guess they would turn humans into candles and kind of put them up there and set them on fire. That's also horrible, but you're in the same ballpark when you're killing animals and smearing blood all over your children. That's, I don't even know what to say about that. It's disgusting, to be quite honest. But let's keep watching it. Oh, there's a bear. I don't know what this is. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I mean, just as an aside, like, what would you think? I'm not here preaching about aliens, okay? Obviously, I'm a little more on God's side. But let's just say something, you are alien to these animals, right? You're different. That's all it means. You're different, right? You're alien to them. You're different. At least your body is. Your soul's the same, but your body is different, right? So to these animals, you're an alien. And you're hiding in the bushes with firearms, weapons. They don't understand. They may have no idea what's happening. They don't know. They don't know. All they're doing is they're out there just eating food, doing whatever, like that little monkey thing we saw, right? They're just out there kind of enjoying their lives, drinking water, walking around. And then something that they don't understand. Technology, they don't understand. They can't understand it. They're animals, right? In that body, they don't get it. They're just out there living their lives. They're not hurting anybody. They're doing the only thing they're programmed to do. It's just be them. So to them, you're an alien because you're different. That's all, right? You know, God's different than us. Angels are different than us. You know, it just means you're just different. That's all. Pros and cons, good at some things, bad at others. But these poor animals, they don't understand any of this. They're just out there doing their thing. Look at this guy. This animal's out there at night, right? And then out of nowhere through the trees gets zapped. Do I want to see more hunts? Absolutely not. That's a hard pass for me on the more hunts. No, I don't want to see any more hunts. And the animals don't want to see any more hunts. And trust me, if the tables were turned and there were different beings that were way more powerful than you that showed up and decided that they enjoyed killing, you wouldn't want to see any more hunts. I'm 100% certain of that. Just imagine something shows up here, right? It's not going to happen, but I'm just saying. Imagine something shows up here, has technology that you don't understand, and you never will, because it's too advanced. Just like the wolves and the giraffes and whatnot, they're never going to understand your technology. Let's say something else shows up, and it's way more advanced than you. It's way more advanced than you'll probably ever be. You're not going to understand the technology, just like these animals don't, right? So if they just start murdering you because they enjoy it, it's their sport, it's their hobby, you're in trouble. And then they start hanging you up from trees and slicing your body open and taking the blood and pouring it on their children, as disgusting as that sounds. What would you do? You know, I mean, quite honestly, there's nothing you could do. Think about these animals. There's not much they can do, right? They just have to deal with it, just like you would. Imagine living in a world like that. And then I want you to think about if that happened, right? If these different beings, right, just different from you, alien to you, showed up, fantastic technology, things you'll never understand. They have abilities and skills that you'll never have. It wouldn't be a fight, right? Just like it's no fight. Let's find one. See this, I don't want to get it wrong. I'm not, whatever. Like a monkey or whatever this is. Whoa! You see him? He's sitting there eating, right? He's having a good time, and someone just blasted him. Down. Oh, wow. So now they're in a helicopter, I guess, or something, right? Shooting these things as they're running away. So imagine that. Imagine you're this animal here. And you've got this species that's way more advanced than you are. Flying overhead. You're running, right? You're like jogging. You're running away like, I'm going to get away. No, you're not. And they shoot you in the back with whatever, and you go falling down like that. What would you think of that species, group, whatever you want to call them, that was hunting you down? Not really because they need to eat you, because they have alternate food sources that were actually, they were designed to eat, like fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts and seeds, things like that, right? So what would you think if they just started murdering you for no reason? They don't need to eat you. They have a better food source that they're designed to eat that would prevent disease in their body and give them nice long lives. So, and they're smarter, right? They're more intelligent, obviously. They have better technology. So they're going to be eating that, right? They'll be eating the fruits and seeds and legumes, nuts, all that stuff, right? All the greens, all that. All the stuff they're supposed to eat. They'll be eating that in this scenario. But they kill you for fun because they enjoy it. Because it's a hobby. They just like to kill. They're not wired correctly, They're not like compassionate. They're not empathetic to your situation. They don't care. They don't care. And it's fun. They just like to kill, You can't be mad at them, You just have to go along with it and take it. Because it's their culture. Actually, that's what it is. It's their culture. So their culture is murdering for fun. Murdering innocent beings. Those animals are innocent. They don't know any better. But that's their culture, right? They just like to murder you. And then when they're done murdering you, maybe cut your body open, take that blood and wipe it all over their kids, and then stuff your body and, stick you in their house or wherever they live and hang out with you, with your body, your stuffed body. And while they're eating, they can look at you and They can tell their friends and family about you, I guess, whenever, they have other beings over, whatever they are. I know it's kind of a strange scenario, but work with me here. But that's pretty much what this is like. So in that scenario, with all that I just said, like, what would you say about that group that was doing it to you? What horrible things would you say about them? These things are horrible. They don't care. They're demonic. They're evil. Blah, blah, blah. I can imagine what you'd say. I would probably say the same thing because they're sick. They're literally hunting you down just like this poor animal here. Because they can, right? Oh, there we go. Got him. Boom. Boom. Just killing them all. And it's not because they need to. They just like to kill. It's who they are. It's what their culture is based on. Empathy and compassion is pretty low on that list of priorities for them. Fun and the enjoyment of killing is pretty high. So I can only imagine what you would say about that group that was doing that. But you need to realize that's actually you. That's what you're doing. That's your culture. Just like my buddy that I grew up with. He was a nice guy. We hung out. His family was very big into hunting. Very, classic Southern family. There's like an archery place up the road. We used to go up there, and he would be in like archery hunts where they get the fake foam animals and they stick them out in the woods and then, start shooting them with the arrows. So he was really big into, I think he still is from what I can tell on Facebook. I mean, clearly we're not friends, I'll work with people as much as I can, but there's some things get back with me when you've cleaned up some. Yeah, I'm not willing to concede on some things. But yeah, it's horrible. So basically that's you in the scenario to these animals. And it sucks. And I've explained before why in the whole circle of lives and things like that, it's really important that you shouldn't do this. It's not good. You're going to carry it. These deaths, you're going to carry them. And you should definitely say you're sorry to God and apologize, just like I did. But just like that animal I killed, that cat, I still think about it. I've said I'm sorry multiple times. It's still up there. I got to live with it. But, yeah, man, this is awful. And it's not just this guy and his channel, Oh my gosh. These things flipping through the air. Do you not understand how disgusting that is? You as a person, as a being, as a child of God, have decided that you want to go out there and kill God's creations because it's fun for you. So you basically told God, I don't care about your creation. I'm going to blow it off the ground and flip it around in the air about 10 times because I feel like it and because I don't care that you created that thing. I want to kill it because I enjoy killing. I love to kill. That's what this says. Wow, look at that. Whole body just blown to pieces. Woo! Intestines all shooting out the side. If you don't see anything wrong with this, I don't know what to tell you. I know that this world will put the horsey blinders on you. Not that I agree with those either, of course. But I know how it is, like I said, because I lived the same experience you did. And I've killed animals too. Definitely wasn't this into it. When I was a young kid that I did it, but still did it. Because I grew up around people just like this. Just like my neighbor behind me. Loved killing animals. Probably still does as far as I can tell. This is the culture, like, people think they're like, oh, that's not a reason. It's like, oh, that's my culture. Well, I don't really care. Because, slavery used to be legal. And you could argue that it's still happening today. And it probably is in some places. And if you pay them next to nothing, it's basically slavery. Just with a little bit of coinage thrown in. But, yeah. I mean, it was legal. It was totally acceptable to have slaves And then whatever else they did with them, they were property, right? They didn't care. They had the same rights as this gopher over here, whatever that thing is. But that was legal, and it was totally acceptable. And the people during those times, it was okay. Because you could probably be like, oh, I own slaves. Yeah, but it's legal. Don't worry about it, you know? Your laws are made up by you, but those aren't God's laws, right? God created everything. All of it. That little gopher right there probably wasn't the intention to be your target practice. You could blow it out of the sky and flip it around a couple hundred times in the air, right? That's not your property. That's God's property, not yours. So you shouldn't be destroying God's property. You didn't build it, you don't get to kill it. It's not your choice. So I have no idea how people can be okay with it. But like I said, you go through history, things that we think are crazy today, like slavery, right? You go ask anybody on the street, you know, oh, slavery was terrible. You know what they're going to say? Absolutely, it was terrible. I have no idea how we could ever own slaves. How did people ever agree to it? How could it ever happen? Well, it was happening for probably hundreds and thousands of years, right? Throughout history. So people have been okay with it because it was cultural, because it had been like that for a long time. Just because something is acceptable by human standards doesn't mean it's acceptable by godly standards. And it doesn't mean it's right morally. Stuff like this, I think children have a much easier time figuring this stuff out. Because you'll take a child, and there was one YouTube video I watched, I wish you could find it. It's like a vegan speech the guy was giving. I thought it was wonderful. He's basically saying, you know, kids get it, right? They understand it's just natural. It's in them. You know, they understand, like you give a kitten, or not, sorry, a kid. You give a kid, a young kid, like a little baby rabbit or something like that, right? You put it in their crib. I think that was the example he was giving. And he's like, you put the little rabbit in the crib, and what does the baby do? It's like, oh, yeah, and it's playing with it, right? It instinctively knows not to try to kill it. So and he would say, well, if your child, you know, grabs the rabbit and starts chewing on it and like ripping its head off, you know, what would you think? I'd probably get that kid to a psychologist immediately. And a psychiatrist too, probably going to need some medication. That would be odd. But that's kind of how people live nowadays, you know? Whereas kids get it, right? You give the kid the baby rabbit, it knows to play with it. And it's smiling, it's happy, it's you know, it's just living with the rabbit. They're kind of in the same space, you know? Your baby doesn't immediately like look at the rabbit and go, ah! and start killing it and trying to snap its neck. That's unnatural. You know, those types of behaviors you have to build into a child. Those types of behaviors, just like my buddy, you know, I guarantee you his dad was a hunter and his dad's dad was a hunter. So when his dad was, and I'm pretty sure he told me, he's the one that told me that about the bloodletting or whatever, you know, they take the blood and they put it all over the kids. Disgusting. But that's probably how it happens, right? You get your kids young and you get them in the camouflage pants and you get them out in the woods and you have them sitting there looking around for the poor innocent animals to kill them. And that's how it is. And then you grow up with it. And then it's like cultural. It's like, well, I've always killed animals. It's just the way it is. I grew up this way. You know, my dad put blood on me from this animal that I killed when I was like 8 years old, whatever. It's terrible. So the fact that it's your culture, look at that, is 100% irrelevant. Those are God's animals. They're not yours. When you can create oh my gosh, look at this. When you can create animals down to the molecular level and all those systems work together, oh my gosh, this poor thing, oh, look at this. He's blown what looks like his innards, his insides have been blown outside his body, and now he's pulling his body around, trying to get back into his little hole. Jiminy Christmas. Oh my gosh, this is hard to watch. But yeah, now I'm off track watching that. Yeah, this is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Can you imagine if this happened to you or someone you loved? Culture. I don't care about your culture. This is wrong. If you do stuff like this, you're sick. Sorry. It's wrong. Just FYI, when God sees this kind of stuff, not happy. Not happy at all. Oh my goodness. So, I don't want to harp on this for too long. I think you get the message. But yeah, you should live in harmony with this planet. Right? You should be vegan. That's what your body's designed to run on. You'll be amazed at how many less ailments you get. Lifelong vegans are going to do very, very well. They're going to live nice, long lives and be nice and healthy. And they're going to live in harmony with the earth, and they're not going to pollute the earth and destroy their only home. So it's kind of important. But yeah, to all you hunters out there, a lot of Republicans, a lot of hunters, a lot of Christian hunters, especially to the Christian hunters. Hey, FYI, you should stop hunting because God's not a fan. Never has been, never will be. And no, you can't take your sins and magically put them in an animal and kill it, and somehow that absolves you. Right? You created that sin. You own it. It's on you. That's between you and God. So you better apologize to God, and then y'all can work it out as best you can. But it's 100% wrong, and you should stop doing it. So that's my information for you today. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Feel free not to murder any innocent beings and then stuff their bodies and hang out with them in your living room. All right. Love you lots. See ya.